Hi there, creepy robot voice. We'll be hearing this every day from now on, every class from now on. Okay, so here's basic homework material, material. Uh, this is just introduction. Most of what we'll be doing will be here in the modules. So your introductory lecture notes, let meet your instructor. This is more of this information, my name, phone number, blah, 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 picture of the textbook, and so on. Once in the thing, you can go to the next module. This same information. Ah, yes, how I grade, very important. It'll be graded on homework, extra credit sets, quizzes, and final. These will be available in the modules. Work by attaching, attach all work to the inbox, Canvas inbox email. I grade on a scale, not a curve. The difference is that a curve is you versus each other. The top 10% get A's, the next 20 or so percent get B's, and so on down the line. Whereas a scale is you versus the textbook versus the assigned work. This latter method, which I much prefer, gives you incentive to study together. The idea is that grading on a curve is a zero-sum game. Your loss is another person's, your gain is another person's loss, whereas grading on a scale is more of a zero-sum thing. You know something to the exact same extent that your neighbor knows something. The grade will be, the scale is as follows. 0 to 25% is an F, from there to 42 is a D, from there to 67% is a C, from there to 92% is a B, and 92% on up is an A. It's theoretically possible to get more than 100% if you do enough extra credit sets. We will have the modules for class, click on modules for a link to videos and class notes. Click on discussion to send messages to me or other students. Click on CityZoom to join online scheduled lectures. Click on inbox to hand in homework, extra credits, quizzes, and final, and to contact me, try my Canvas inbox or campus email. And here there's a list of basically of chapters in the book. All right, let me go back. Okay, modules. Where were we? Oh, and there is support for students, student learning. The Learning Assistance Center, there's a virtual campus. There are other resources, maybe I should post them. Queer resources, City Dream resource, African American Scholastic Programs, Veterans resource, and so on. I'll have to find a way to link to this page, which I have right here. They emailed me. Maybe I should just copy it and put it elsewhere. All right, let's see. And syllabus, yes. This is downloadable, just click on there. It's a list. This gives a description of the course. When, where, who, and how. This textbook, I assigned this. I hope we can proceed from here. Just a second. And here's the scale again. And there's some things that they gave me about student learning outcomes, which is basically, bureaucratic. So if you want to copy this, click on that and you can print it out and so on. That's the syllabus. Then there's a homework set. And again, here, this one is relative to the textbook 6E. I may have to rewrite all this. Oh my God. Or you may have to go to Amazon to get a copy of edition 6. We'll see what's what. Okay, so these are all these. About 5 problems per section. And you'll notice there's a couple of things. What do you notice about all these numbers? The thing all these numbers have in common. What is it? Any idea?
They're even?
They're even. Why?
Probably because the odds either have the answer or don't have the answer.
Well, that's true. It's true or false. The odd number books are answered in the back of the book. Odd number problems are answered in the back of the book. And therefore, the odd number problems that we'll be going over in class for you in these Zoom lectures. These even ones are what you're assigned to. Now, you'll also notice these starred problems. Those are extra credit. Hand in these extra credit problems with the homeworks. And they can get you above 100% if you wish. Let's see. There will also be extra credit problem sets. I still have much to, I've made up lecture notes for the preliminary chapters. These await, they await my timing. So, and I have yet to, this too was key to the edition 6, but they do exist. So I already have pre-written homeworks for pre-written quizzes, quiz 1 and quiz 2, and also a final pre-written. These also are extra credit sets. This is about binary volumes, metric time, linear algebra problem, linear systems problem, complex numbers, quadratics, and a logarithmic set of logarithmic problems about decibels and half-lives. So again, you can download from here, and I describe this is a scale of decibels, and I ask for various ratios of loudness between various things. Radioactivity, I give you various half-lives, and ask how long does it take for to decay to 1/1,000,000th of the original amount of these various substances with these various half-lives. Okay, that's what we'll be seeing when we get to the exponentials part. Here's for quadratics, and this is this. Here's some linear algebra problems, and so on. Okay, just a second. Excuse me. Andrews, let me make a note. Okay, Andrews is here. Okay, good. Let's see. Let's get back to, just a second. Someone's wanting to chat. And, oh, I'm sorry, mistake. All right. Okay, let's get back to this. So, okay, college algebra, Mondays, Wednesdays, here's the time, here's me, here's my email, office hours 11 to noon. Oh yes, as to times, office hours it won't be starting this Tuesday nor the next, but I will start on the Tuesday after that. Every Tuesday then from August 31st up through December 7th. I'll be here basically hanging out, probably grading some papers, and come on and visit to ask questions about homework, final, or whatever. That'll work out. All right, let's see. There's a textbook. We'll figure out about additions, grading on a scale, not a curve. Here's the scale. The grade is mostly based on homework, and there are a few quizzes, and there's a final, and there's an extra credit problem and sets. So do try those. Okay, the way it works, the mechanics. Each homework set covers a whole chapter. It's due on the third, more or less, section after the chapter is done, okay, generally the next week. Each quiz, so, okay, so do section 1-1 through 1-7. Don't just hand me section 1-1. I want one whole chapter at a time. Each quiz covers several chapters, generally covers one or two problems per subsection, and it's due on the fourth section after that chapter is done. Each extra credit set covers independent material and is due by semester's end. Please, it is in theory possible for you to hand in homework late. I don't mind too much. Please, however, do not do what one or two students invariably does, which is hand in a huge pile of work at the very, very last day. That doesn't work. Please try and keep a regularly paced with this. Form study times and study groups if possible. That also helps. Since this is on a scale, not a curve, you have incentives to work together. The final will cover all chapters. It's due by semester's end. It's one problem per subsection. Now, the way to do the homework is you write it out. Do the scribbly. Usually, all I require for a homework is answers to the questions. The work is generally not necessary. Generally, there are occasional problems which say, please prove such and so. So you have proofs and demonstrations that A equals B equals C equals D equals E, therefore A equals E, that sort of thing. But usually I just require the answers. So it's prudent to do all this scribbling, messy work on a separate page, but write your answers neatly, please, on a page, and then scan it, and then attach the scan to an email and hand in via the Canvas inbox. I will reply via the Canvas inbox. I will generally give your score 27 out of 32, for example, which incidentally, wait 1 moment. 27 out of 32, that's about 84%, which counts as a B. That's a thing. You can tell your grade on a given homework. So I'll give you the score, what on what that grades to, and also a list of problems that you did wrong and can redo. I allow 1 and maybe 2 redos, and you know, and please send them on, send them back to me and do it. This way it's efficient. Going over the inbox is efficient, I find, and also gives you a chance to redo, which I do recommend. Okay, the Canvas site. We have the home page. We've seen that. You have the module. We'll be seeing those. It contains syllabus, homework sets, quizzes, extra credit sets, final lecture notes, and links to Zoom lectures. There are discussion forums, but I find these have been underused. There's an inbox to get information to work and to contact me. There's a Zoom link to attend lectures. Yes. There's this distinction to make between synchronous and asynchronous. This Canvas site is asynchronous. It's just sitting there. It's no particular due times or scheduled moments. Access at any time, get all the information in it. Zoom sessions, they're synchronous, like this. We do it at a specific times, Mondays and Wednesdays, 9 to 11:30, although usually and well before that. I do have some pro tips. Please hand each homework a chapter at a time, not one section at a time. I require usually the answers, not the work, except for deriving identities. Hand in via Canvas inbox, not my Canvas email, because in my Canvas email, there's generally a whole lot of administrative stuff coming in and it might get lost. Whereas the inbox is no chance of that. In your homework, circle your answers or highlight them so I can see them. Please make this work easier for me. In practice, legibility counts. The historic role for education, mass public education, is training the people how to cope in whatever industrial system exists at the time. Now we're in the online era, and a great deal of work will be done online. The pandemic just kicked us into doing it, but it has been going there for quite some time. And in working online, you really do have to look for presentation. You don't want to make the person at the other end of the line work for you, for you to cover your laziness. That doesn't add to good relations. Time management. Make regular study times, just every day or every week for a certain time, whatever. Just do it. The idea is to make it into as mindless and automatic a habit as possible. The truth about mathematics is that it has a reputation of being big brain stuff. No, that's not true. Okay, it's true that researching math is aristocratic, but doing math and teaching and studying, that's democratic. That's why we're here. And ideally, it can be the whole idea about big brain research is to make it something to discover things so simple and obvious and true that even a chip of silicon can do it. And so therefore, so can you. The main trouble you will have in doing math, I found, is that it's too simple for the human mind. You have to make the effort to think down to the level that I'm asking you at. I've seen people do this. I'd say, well, you do this, then this, then this. And they'd say, is that it? That's all? Yes, that's all. Okay. So make regular study times. Please make your study times at a time when you are alert. I know that there's this mistake that math, the big brain stuff for geniuses, is done in the middle of the night, 3 a.m., very witching hour, and a brilliant inspiration comes to you. Again, that does not work. What works is for you to have, let's say 3 in the afternoon, and you're sitting down and with a cup of tea or soda or what have you, and maybe you're with a friend and so on, and it feels like doing the dishes. It doesn't feel like breaking rocks. So you do this and keep pace with the course. And as I mentioned, last day homework works don't work. And I do recommend calculators. Calculators are your friend. A lot of these problem sets, I've asked you to give you exactly like square root of 3 rather than, okay, what would square root of 3 be? 1.73205 to 5 decimals. Generally, I'll accept 4 or 5 decimals if you're doing approximations. All right. Oh, yes, keep the manual. I don't know why people throw out or lose the manuals. You'll never know when you want to know, oh, what does that button do? It helps to have some written documentation. This course will cover about 58 sections, including this introduction, and about 31 meetings. So that's 57, except for this, it's 57 out of 30, which is a little less than 2 sections per meeting. And that's what we'll do. In general, we'll cover 2 sections per meeting, except for the last few sections, which will cover 1 meeting each. I want to glide to a halt by the end of the semester. Oh yes, and video. I video each Zoom lecture, and then afterwards, I paste it onto here. I'll paste today's lecture here onto this. Later, when we go on to, let's say, section 1, for example. Okay, so on Wednesday, we'll cover section 1, going over the material here. I'll go over the material and work on problems like the problems that I assigned. And then afterwards, I'll post that onto the video. It's section P1, and also on Wednesday, I'll be covering section P2. I'll cover this material and these concepts and work on these problems, which are like the ones I assign. And afterwards, again, I'll post the appropriate video onto a link to that video here. That way, if you can't get to a Zoom lecture, you can review it afterwards. So for your convenience and mine. So, okay, there we are. Excuse me. Okay, well, I believe that's pretty much covers the basics of how this course works, the mechanics. And as ever, there's a first day chaos, who's in, who's not. I'll have to figure out how I'll go about adding Mr. Alvarado and Mr. Hoyne. I mean, like I said, there's room, so you'll get it as soon as I figure out how to put you in. Okay. Beyond that, well, I believe we've covered pretty much everything required. Just a second. Here's an inbox. What's in the inbox? I'll have someone has to let me in. I believe I did. Eric Andrews, did I let you in? Let me double check.
Yes.
Okay, good. I asked everyone else. I might as well ask you. What's your? Well, first of all, Andrews, can you turn on your camera? We'd like to see you, if you please. Do you have a camera?
Not at this moment.
Okay. Well, it's optional, but I kind of feel a little more personal than that. I always have my camera on. Other than that, let's see. Yeah, and may I ask, what are you taking this course for, and what's your major, if I may ask?
I'm taking this course to fulfill the course requirements for my major, which is computer science.
Cool, thank you. All right, so, well, I believe we have everything. We have, Lordy. If I can adjust the assignment, that's a non-trivial thing. I'll have to go get a whole new textbook. Okay, first meetings are always like that. It's just constant. Okay, never mind. Well, I think we more or less covered the material of the course. Questions, please. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. This. Goose horn. I use it to start the class and signal the end of the class, and for one more purpose. I originally got this thing decades ago with an evil intention in mind, and karma got me right away. I wanted to honk at people who made stupid mistakes. Only it turned out that I'd be in front of about a couple dozen people, and I make a mistake on the board. And someone asked, Professor, 2 + 2 is 4, not 3, isn't it? Oops. And then at that point, I felt honor bound to commit Hornikiri. And it's been that way ever since. So when I'm in full-blown lecture mode and I stumble and make a stupid mistake, please call me out. Keeps me honest, and it's fun in a way. It's a good fun game. You have to stay alert to humiliate me. I have to stay alert to not be humiliated. And it's also proof to you, if someone fallible is capable of doing this stuff, then maybe you can too. So that's my theory. Let's see. Is that else? Oh yes, and one more thing. Yes, very important. If while I'm in full-blown lecture mode and I've mentioned something that puzzles you just a little bit, at that point, 2 little creatures will show up, an angel and a devil. And the devil will say, don't. The devil of politeness will say to you, don't interrupt him. Don't ask a question. You'll only look stupid and everybody else knows. So don't worry about it. It'll clear up in a little bit. All those are false. No, no, no. The angel of rudeness on your other shoulder will say, ask, 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 ask. The angel of rudeness is correct. If you ask that question, rest assured that at least half dozen other people in the Zoom session will thank you. And besides, generally, it's the small things that bother people, not the big conceptual things. I like to compare you, my students, to giants who are proposing to walk to the top of a mountain. You have the strength to do it. You really, really do. But if a pebble gets in your shoe, even a tiny pebble, then you will limp the whole way. I conceive my job as proceeding above you on the mountain path with a tiny little wisp broom in hand, sweeping the path in front of you. That's my job. So ask those pebble questions. They're important. Okay, I've said my piece. All right, questions, comments, requests. I always ask at each session with those 3 questions. You have questions, you have comments, you have requests. Yeah, edition 7, eh? Well, I have to look into that. Okay, I guess I should go to the bookstore within a day or so. See what I can do. Whatever. Okay. Well, unless you have questions, I must now quote Robert Heinlein, who said that, how do you put it? A motion to adjourn is always in order. Any second? Is the motion seconded? Oh, come on. Yes? No? All right. If you're not ready to end, do you have questions? Do you have comments? Yes?
Are we going to no math today?
Not really. Like I say, since we're not sure about what context is. No, first classes are generally like this. I go over the rules. Believe me, we'll go over sections 1 and 2 of preliminary chapter P on Wednesday. Okay. Thank you for asking.
All right. Second to adjourn then.
It is seconded. Great. Okay. And I shall be seeing you on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Sorry, I got disconnected. We don't have class. We finished.
We are finished.
Okay.
Move to adjourn, someone seconded, and so here we are. Okay.
Okay. And should we expect email or something about the textbook?
No, we'll get together again on Wednesday and see what's what. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Gaskin, Tuttle, Andrews, questions?
No,
Yes?
I said no.
Okay, well. If you have questions, ask. If not, I'll see you Wednesday. Andrews, Tuttle, any questions? Okay, well, if not, I shall be signing off in 30 seconds. 20. 10. Stop recording.